Sadnam, neo-natives. Avtar Simrit here again with another reading from my new book, True Fiction Volume 1, which is available everywhere now on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, whatever website you like to get books from. Get your copy available now. All right. So the reading I'm going to do today is from the third novella in the book. It's called Surrogate Motherfucker, and this is from part 2 of Surrogate Motherfucker. Enjoy. Sometimes, in my darkest moments, I can understand why Adolf Hitler became what he became. I would be lying if I said there isn't a part of my consciousness that toys with the possibility of becoming what benevolent cheekily calls the murder mystic. Hitler was a failed artist and a failed musician. He studied the occult all his life like I do. His rejection twice from the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts most likely contributed somewhat to his already existing contempt for people. Sometimes I feel like my soul is an amalgamation of Adolf Hitler and Aleister Crowley, creating what I have termed Adolf Crowley. Fully in my shadow, I would love to create sex magic from a pit of genocide. However, unlike Hitler, I continue to use art for catharsis. I don't want to actually hurt anyone, so I channel all of my darkness into my music and writing. It is possible that Hitler was just as prolific an artist as I am. In Mein Kampf, Hitler claimed that at one point he was producing as many as 3 paintings a day. For a while now, I've been recording and releasing at least 1 album a year, sometimes even several more. Some years I've written, recorded, and released up to 4 or 5 albums. But I haven't received the recognition I feel I deserve. And I'm no stranger to people describing my work as having no artistic value. So fuck them. I would be as beautiful and terrible as any charismatic leader who has millions of followers and millions of people slaughtered. If I really gave into the murder mystic within, genocide gives me a hard-on. I'd make it a law that every person in my kingdom had to listen to my music for 5 hours a day without a break to eat or take a piss. I'd be the most evil tyrant and the most loving. To kill, but at the same time to heal the brokenness of my nation, would be the exquisiteness of my contradiction. They would fear me and love me and worship me, giving sacrifices to quell that fear. My God, maybe I'm really not that different from Steep. But no, I must not give myself over to my shadow self and benevolent. My convictions are strong and they must help me weather this storm. How to destroy the eternity loose leaf and prevent a neo-Holocaust is still a mystery to me, and I fear I may be too late. As these dark thoughts are swimming through my fractured mind, I am covering the last several miles to Providence. My white minivan is held up on this journey wonderfully and shows no signs of breaking down, which puts me at ease somewhat. Somehow it seems I've missed the exit for Providence and find myself getting off at an exit for some little town called Pawtucket. As I drive through strange roundabouts and one-way streets, I suddenly feel like I've eaten a 10-strip of acid and woken up in a cartoon. Pawtucket is weird. The street lights seem to jut out over the road at extreme angles, as if drawn from a surreal comic book. All the houses and buildings are of odd shapes and sizes. These structures are all painted pastel and monochrome. Why did my subconscious bring me here to this peculiar little city? Oh, I know. Strange Famous Records has their store/office here. That's Sage Francis's record label. I'll have to visit sometime while I'm here, but for now, I gotta get out of here. Eventually, I find my way back to the highway and get off at the right exit for downtown Providence. As I drive past Burnside Park in the middle of town, I notice that it is full of tents and tons of people. They are all wearing hoodies and jackets since it's a cool October day. There are various signs hanging on the fence around the park. The biggest sign is a banner that says, "Occupy Providence." All the signs are political in nature. One says, end corporate dictatorship, and several others have messages against the so-called 1%. I remember that I had heard before I left Estonia about a political movement starting up across the country. It started with Occupy Wall Street. If I remember correctly, I make a note of the demonstration and drive on. Miraculously, I find an apartment available in a building on Carpenter Street. I don't have much to move in since I only threw the basic essentials that I needed into my van when I left Estonia in such a hurry. It's a one-bedroom unit with wood floors and carpet in the bedroom. The windows look down over the parking lot. Maybe I can finally have space from Alice and Steep so that I can get some clarity on what to do about this dangerous situation. It really feels like I've been roped into the whole ordeal against my will. Yes, admittedly I did of my own free will allow Benevolent to wed my spirit for 7 minutes and invited him into my life at the beginning. Now, I don't know how to get rid of him. Maybe that whole willing possession set the events in motion that led to Steep gaining power in Destania and then pulling me in as a conduit for this destructive energy. I inherited some furniture with the apartment. The tenant before me left a glass desk and a couch in the living room. My laptop is already set up on the desk, and I go over to lay the piece of Eternity loose leaf, the Alice manuscript sigil, down on the desk next to it. There's no instruction manual on how to deal with this sort of dark magic. Sitting at my desk, I think about what my next move should be, what it even possibly could be. Picking up the piece of paper from my desk again, I stroke the thin substance. I smell the scent of wood and manufacturing. As I'm touching the words and symbols on the page, suddenly I feel a rush of energy, a rush of power. I see a vision of myself with millions of followers, nay, 1 billion followers. I am standing in front of them on a raised platform, wearing my ordinary wizard cloak and pointed hat. All the people crowded in front of me hang on every word I teach. Some even wear t-shirts with my own quotes printed on them. It feels like pure adrenaline pumping through my veins. Absolute power. The cover of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene flashes in my vision as well. There is nowhere that you can go that Alice cannot follow. I know the voice very well, almost as if it is my own voice speaking from the infinite depths of an abyss, an inferno. Benevolent is sitting on the couch in the middle of the room, reclining as if relaxing here is the most natural thing in the world. This is the first time he has shown his face or spoken since I left Estonia. You're wrong, I say, turning in my chair to look at the demon. She hasn't followed me. I'm under the protection of Providence. Benevolent cackles as if he's coolly confident of my ignorance. For one who's a student of the occult and magic, you're not very savvy on how it works. I'm so over being made fun of. Just look in front of you, the demon continues. It's right in front of your fucking face, and you can't even see it. I swallow hard and look back at the sinister page on my desk, dreading that what this creature says is true. Ich bin mit Alice, I read aloud. The creature nods and smiles a toothy grin. Yes, he hisses. And what does that mean? I go pale and feel a sinking sensation in the pit of my stomach. It means, I start slowly, I'm with Alice. Oh shit. Now do you see? Benevolent begins. Once you accepted that piece of paper to translate, Alice latched onto you like a stowaway entity. Did I have a choice not to take the paper? I didn't really see any other option. You had a choice not to accept, he answers. However, I don't think you would have been happy with the consequences. I'm not fucking happy with the consequences of taking it either, I yell, getting agitated. Apparently not, Benevolent says calmly. But at least you're alive. I scoff. Yeah, but for how long? Looking back at the Neo-Holocaust sigil in front of me, I suddenly see Alice's face appear in the middle of the paper like a ghost. Startled, I jump up out of my chair, knocking it over onto the floor behind me with a crash. When I look over toward Benevolent for some answer, he is gone again like an apparition you only catch out of the corner of your eye. And when I look back at the paper, Alice's face is gone too. True Fiction Volume 1, available now. Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, wherever, motherfuckers. Love y'all, Neo Natives.